Let's talk about windows of opportunity. Windows of opportunity. Here's the deal. Back in the day, when we had that perfect dog, everybody has either had or has known someone that had that super well-behaved dog. Essentially, the thing that made that dog seem really well-behaved is that they correctly guessed which kind of mode of living we were in at that moment. When you felt like playing frisbee and you got your frisbee, they were like, hell yeah, let's play frisbee, and they got pumped. When we got done playing frisbee and we were like, all right, Dad's tired, you go do what you want, they would cruise around and do what they want. When you would go, okay, time to go, let's get out of here, they listened. When you were at home and were like, let's watch a movie, they chilled and watched a movie. And they feel like Lassie because they're always kind of on the right page. They can read the play and they can see which mode they're supposed to be in, and they jump in that mode. Almost everybody that has a dog that has behavior issues or feels problematic or is untrained, kind of the fundamental problem is that they're guessing incorrectly which mode they're supposed to be in. They're guessing incorrectly which kind of window of opportunity they are in at that moment. You're trying to watch TV and they think they're in the like, let's do some shit opportunity. You are trying to get them to do some kind of obedience and they think they're in the play with mom opportunity and they won't stop jumping on you. Things like that. So they seem like they're problematic. So before I go too deep into all that, let me just explain kind of what the windows are. There are 3 that the dog is born with and 1 that we create. A dog should be just natural, just pre-programmed with a few of these kind of windows of being, like these kind of windows of opportunity is how I used to refer to them. You can call it rooms. A lot of times I use the analogy of there's rooms and you decide which room in the house you're supposed to be in. Sometimes I use the analogy of floors and there's an elevator and the door's open and you see what floor is available to you when the door's open. Windows of opportunities. These are all just ways of trying to get this core concept across to you. So the idea is this, they're born with 3 of these. Find your own fun. You watch almost any dog, you give it enough time of observation, you watch any dog and they will at some point be chasing butterflies, sniffing around, finding their own shit, like finding their own avenues of enjoyment. It's drive expression, it's not chill, like they're like, woohoo, let's do some shit, and they're running around, swimming, digging holes, whatever. But they're finding their own fun. That's one natural window. Another natural window is play with me, the human that they're connected with, right? We play together. Now, it could be we play frisbee, so it's together in the sense that we are doing this activity together, but I throw the frisbee 100 yards, you run out to 100 yards, get the frisbee, come running back. You know what I mean? So it's like, even though in that moment it's away from me, it's with and through and because of with me, right? So play with their person is another very natural window. Calm liberty. The dog is not under orders, it's not under command, it's just chill, nice, chill, hanging out, calm, chill, liberty window. Those are the 3 natural windows. Now, if you get a dog, you go get a dog from the fucking pound or whatever, and it's awesome. It's awesome because it knows which window you're in. It vibes with you. It looks at you and it reads the play and it goes, I get it, I get it. Imagine that elevator reference. The door's open and it doesn't have to go investigate. The door's open and it goes, oh yeah, 3rd floor. Kitchen accessories, got it. You know, it knows what floor that is. And it knows when I go onto this floor, this is what I can expect. This is how I behave, right? Opens this floor, oh, that's the library. Opens this floor, oh, this is Chuck E. Cheese. And it knows which floor it's on, right? It understands what's going on. The dog that seems like an asshole, the door opens and it goes, whoa, runs out into the thing, runs around, and then potentially goes, uh-oh, I think I'm in the wrong room, right? And that dog becomes a huge problem, right? So the issue, the success of one dog is that it reads which room it's supposed to be in, and the failure of the other dog is it doesn't read which room it's supposed to be in. Easy option is teach them which fucking room they're in. Name the rooms and go, here's the room you're in, bro. Just like when the elevator door opens, it goes 3rd floor, men's fashion, and then it opens, and then 5th floor, library. Hey, I don't have to investigate, guess, jump out, discover. I know what to expect when the door opens. I'm like, I know what I expect to see because I understand there's the floor markers and the legend on the wall that tells you what floor is what, right? That's perfect. That's a perfect analogy. So because we live in the modern world with antifreeze and cars and lawyers and shitty neighbors, we need to make this thing called the work window. If we lived in the woods with our dog, we wouldn't need this. They vibed us right and understood which window they fell in, we'd be all set. The work window is something we have to create. So if I need my dog to recall a very specific thing, I have to teach them how to do it. If I need my dog to stay, I have to teach them how to do it. If I need them to down or sit or very specific middle or eye contact or jump that thing and bring this dumbbell back and hold it just so with these particular teeth. Whatever shit you're into goes into that work window. You have to make it. That doesn't exist, right? The very first part of your training, the fundamental essence of the beginning of your training, foundation, is make sure each of these windows actually exists, because if the dog doesn't have one of those windows, we have a problem. Either they have lived such a screwed up life, they don't know one of these windows exists. They've learned nothing, so they don't have this window. They've never had a person they trusted enough to play with, so they don't have this window. They've never been given the opportunity to play out loose, so they don't have, you know what I mean? Like they've been crushed into this window through really hard training, or they've been doing nothing but crazy free shaping and just getting bags of cookies thrown at them for no reason, and they only have this window. Whatever. If your dog only has one combination, they're a little screwed up. So your first thing is make sure each of these windows exist, name them. That's all I'm doing in the beginning, just name them, right? I'm just making sure, like if I know I'm about to walk in the door from work and my dog is gonna be stupid pumped to play with me, I can open the door and name this window. Play with me window we name ready. I go, ready? That's the play with me window. Open the door, ready? Boom. I know when we drive to the park and I'm gonna take my dog out at the park, I know they're gonna jump out of the car and do 3 zoomies. I know they are. So I name that, okay, no problem, okay, and open the door, boop, I name that. Now, every time they hear that word, it's followed by this picture. Now that's me just catching the opportunity. When they do 3 circles in front of the fire and they go to lay down and go to sleep, I can name that enough. Like that's enough. Like that's the chill. That's the chill. That's what we call it. So this window is named ready to the dog. This window, the Calm Liberty window, is named enough. This window is named okay. Now the work window is named by any cue to work you give the dog. That could be anything, sit, down, heel, middle, front, whatever. In this foundation exercise, we're gonna start with stay. If you look at the videos that follow this, you're gonna look at the word stay. So that's the very first one. So if you're talking straight up foundation with us, this is the very first one. So these are the words that are associated with the play with me window: ready, yes, and get it. Those are all gonna put the dog into the play with me window. Okay is gonna put the dog into find your own fun window. Enough is gonna put the dog into calm liberty window. And the word stay, or any other known command, is gonna put the dog into the work window. Your job right now is just to correctly predict, create, and name these windows accurately. That's all. When the elevator door opens, you go men's fashion. Oh no, it's Chuck E. Cheese, you fucked up. Like, that's not gonna help your dog. At first, it's my job. I say, are you ready? And then I make the play with me window. I say, okay, and I go make the find your own drive. Take them out in the field, show them the thing that they can go sniff. When they look back at me, I go play. When they try to play with me, I go, no man, I'm not playing with you. Like, I am responsible for making the window. I say enough and I create the calm liberty. If I have to stand on the leash, if I have to tether them, whatever I got to do, I'm going to say the word, and then it's my responsibility to make the picture for the dog. Later in training, that responsibility will begin to shift. Later in training, I say the word, dog's responsibility to make the correct picture. So I'm going to say the work word, and my dog is responsible. If my dog's out sniffing the grass, they're in find your own, and I go, come, they are now responsible for making the work picture, right? If I go, they're chill in liberty, and I go, you ready? They're responsible for creating the play picture, right? Like, but before I can ask a dog to be responsible for doing something, I have to make sure they understand what the fuck I'm talking about, right? So in this phase, you're gonna just make sure each of those 4 windows exists, and you might have to help create one because they might either have no training at all, or they may be either genetically or environmentally not exposed or able to have had one of these windows. So you might have to build some of these windows for them, and that's okay. Your job right now is make sure that those windows exist, name them correctly, and you are responsible for naming it and then creating it. And there's no such thing as not in one of these windows. It's not, oh, they're in one of these, we're doing this window exercise, and then we go home. Because when you're hanging out at the house doing nothing, you're in this one. This one's kind of my default. You can choose to have any default you want. You could have a dog be a service dog and is by default constantly in the work window unless you occasionally put them in this one. It's up to you what your life looks like. You can build the house however the fuck you want. Most people, enough is the default window. Calm liberty is the default window. But they're never not in one of these windows, right? So your job is to make sure they understand what the names of the windows are, make sure the windows exist, make sure they understand what the names of them are. You accept the responsibility for making sure that the words match the picture. Later, the dog will be responsible for making sure the words match, the pictures match the words that you've